Just into our newsroom, Frank Howard has been suspended indefinitely and will not play tomorrow night. We'll have the details up next.
And coming up next on News Live at 6, the Student Association elections are underway. Here are two opposing campaign teams are running on this year.
Commemoration is coming to a close. Find out how Remembrance Scholars are honoring those members of the Orange family who passed away this year.
Winter is over and spring is finally here, and it definitely does feel like spring today. But will it be here to stay? I'll tell you in my full weather forecast. Citrus TV News starts right now.
Now, Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts with breaking news.
This just into our newsroom, senior guard for the men's basketball team, Frank Howard, will not play in tomorrow's game against Baylor. I'm Bradbury in for Noah Eagle.
And I'm Lilia Wood in for Claudia. A spokesperson for the Syracuse Athletics says our Howard will not play for an indefinite period of time due to a violation of athletic department policy. Citrus TV sports reporter Jonathon Hoppe joins us now to explain what this means for the NCAA matchup. Hoppe, this is wild for SU fans.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, guys. When you talk about the day before a game against Baylor in the first round of the NCAA tournament, there is some good news, though. Remember, Frank Howard did not play to start the season. Tyus battled a lot of time at the one running the point. That's going to be the case again when Syracuse plays Baylor tomorrow night. Frank, though, starting to play very well. He had 28 points in that second round of the ACC tournament game against Duke. And just when SU fans thought he was going to come in and help make Syracuse another run in the postseason, he goes down with, what they're calling some sort of violation. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Hoppe.
Thank you.
And back on campus, Syracuse University is wrapping up its third annual service of commemoration today. The service honors faculty, staff, retirees, students, and trustees who passed away last year. Citrus TV reporter Katie Lane is live outside Hendricks Chapel. Katie?
Thank you, Greg. Today, the SU campus community gathered at Hendricks Chapel to honor those members through prayer, music, and a candlelight ceremony while being mindful of the different ways people handle grief. Out of respect, we did not film during the service.
Remembering everyone and understanding how loss affects different groups and different people, and how we can all be connected under that shared understanding and shared community.
Remembrance Scholars like Madeline Merwin led the service of commemoration. They are students who complete their senior year in memory of those who died in the Pan Am 103 bombing.
As I learned more about remembrance and the students that we did lose, it just became so much more of a personal connection as you realize that every single one of those 35 students could have been one of your best friends on campus or could have been you. I get to live out my senior year when who I represent, Richard Paul Minetti, he never did. I get to live my life in his memory and look back and act forward.
Look back, act forward. That is the Remembrance Scholars motto that inspired this event. It encourages students and community members to remember those they have lost and act forward in their memory.
It's acting forward to make sure that we are living our best life as people who do get to continue and live another day, and using that for our purpose and why we're here.
Events like the service of commemoration help the campus and community remember the lives of those the SU family lost this year. If you couldn't make tonight's service, Hendricks Chapel is sponsoring a dinner on March 26th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Live outside Hendricks Chapel, I'm Katie Lane, Citrus TV News.
Thank you so much, Katie. And new details tonight on the upcoming Student Association election. Earlier today, Citrus TV spoke with some of the newest candidates running for president and vice president. For Ryan Golden and Kaylee Vick, they say the main focus of their campaign is reviewing DPS's approach to campus safety.
Campus health and safety, which I think ties into other platforms that we've discussed, diversity and inclusion, because as we saw with the Ackerman assault, students of color don't feel safe on campus, especially when the Department of Public Safety is not answering basic questions and refuses to implement important change.
I'm personally Director of DPS Relations for SA. With the experience I've had in that position so far, we definitely need to do more for DPS and do more in handling DPS.
Both campaigns said that they want the university to be more accountable and transparent towards students. Mackenzie Merkayas and Samia Had Sayed say the holding the university accountable will be the first into their other platforms, including health and wellness and financial accessibility.
I want the DPS review to be in-depth and working to find out exactly what needs to be done and sometimes even who needs to be removed. There are officers who are blatantly racist, as we discussed at the Ackerman Forum.
One of our platforms is transparency and accountability, and I think that ties into all of the other 4 platforms: diversity, inclusion, health and wellness, community engagement, and financial accessibility.
You can vote for your student body leaders on MySlay starting on April 8th through the 11th.
And if you were worried about sleeping through your alarm tomorrow, SU's got your back. DPS will conduct a full test of the Orange Alert system tomorrow at a nice early 9 a.m. This will include testing the outdoor siren system on North and South Campus and sending a notice by email, text, and phone call. All Syracuse University and SUNY ESF students and staff will be sent the Orange Alert message.
Plus, the 20th annual Prism concert will be next Wednesday. Organizers say it will happen at 8 p.m. in Krause College. They say the concert will provide a unique experience of surrounding audience members with both light and sound during the different acts. All of the performers at the concert are SU students. The event is free and open to the public.
Now, it is the first day of spring, and finally, it feels like some warmth was coming in today.
Yeah, it is so warm out, and so many different people are out on the quad, doing frisbee, playing football, all of that.
Now, one of those people out on the quad right now is our Citrus TV weather anchor, Jenna Babyak, with your full weather forecast for your first day of spring.
Thanks, guys. I feel like it's the first time in a long time that I'm saying this. I have no complaints about the weather. Today was a beautiful day. Currently, it is 49 degrees and it is partly sunny. And let me emphasize again, because I am just so excited about this, it is not cold. Now, let's compare today with other first day of spring temperatures. Over the past 8 years, it's been pretty consistent. Mid to high 30s, low 40s. 2012 is the only exception. It was 79 degrees on the first day of spring that year. Today's average was 52 degrees, definitely on the warmer side. And I'll let you know if those spring conditions are going to be sticking around for the rest of the week in my full weather forecast coming up later in the show. Back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Jenna. Spring is certainly on its way, and the Black Welsh mountain sheep at the zoo are certainly ready for it as well. So cute, and I bet those animals are hoping the warm weather will be sticking around in the coming weeks.
And in other news, police lifted a shelter-in-place order this morning in Fulton after they searched the town for a suspect on the run. Police say they believe the suspect is 21-year-old Zachary Bentley, and they attempted to stop his car last night for a traffic stop. But Bentley drove off. Police say gunshots were heard in the area, and they found a handgun that they believe to belong to Bentley. Authorities say that they have not found Bentley, and anyone with more information is asked to call the Fulton Police Department.
And the Onondaga County Mayor's Association is currently holding a press conference tonight concerning the future of I-81. The association hopes to keep the highway as it is and says that a tunnel or grid is the only option that would compromise and protect the traffic flow. And as the decision of I-81 draws nearer, Citrus TV News Live at 6 will have a 7-part series on all of the possible options for the future of the interstate. That series starts on April 1st and runs throughout the week. And Miley Cyrus, Chance the Rapper, and Jay-Z are all coming to upstate New York this summer. Woodstock 50 released their official lineup for the summer's concert series. The 3-day festival is in Watkins Glen, New York, which is only an hour and a half from SU. It will start on August 16th and will end on August 18th. You can visit the event's official website for ticketing information.
And coming up next after the break, firefighters have put out a massive fire in Texas. But is it safe to go outside?
We'll tell you how workers are cleaning up the mess at the chemical plant and why local schools and businesses are still closed.
And coming up just a little bit later in sports, we're here in Salt Lake City, Utah, where Syracuse is getting set to play their first round matchup against the Baylor Bears. We have more on their opponent in the round of 64. Stay tuned. You're watching Citrus TV News.
party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft will reportedly not accept a plea deal that would prevent him from going to jail. Florida prosecutors are charging Kraft with soliciting prostitution.
Officials offered to drop the charges against Kraft and 24 other men if they agreed to do community service and admit that they would have been found guilty in court. Kraft will be arraigned on March 28th. And check out this video from space. That black cloud there is the flames from chemical fire that started 4 days ago. Today, crews in Houston have finally put out that fire that started at a Houston area chemical facility.
Now that fire began at the Intercontinental Terminals Company early Sunday morning in a single tank before spreading to multiple tanks. The cause of the fire is still unknown. And right now, the biggest concern with the cleanup is the health and safety of Houston area residents. Many schools and businesses have closed their doors since Sunday and will be closed for the remainder of the week because of the smoke that is still in the air.
There are currently conflicting reports as to whether people are at risk if they are exposed to the smoke. Some officials have stated that the reading levels are well below hazardous levels, while others have cautioned residents to play it safe and stay inside.
And new details out of southern Africa where a cyclone has killed hundreds of people. Images here show torn up land after severe flooding destroyed houses and infrastructure across the region.
The Red Cross is currently leading rescue efforts. The European Union and Britain have pledged their aid. The United States Embassy says that they're mobilizing to help the recovery effort as well. And families in New Zealand are preparing for the burials of their loved ones killed in Friday's mosque attack. The first funerals for the victims of these shootings are held this morning. The New Zealand Prime Minister visited first responders and families in Christchurch today.
The man accused with open firing on 2 mosques has now been charged with murder, and additional charges are expected to come. New Zealand police also suspect that the man may have plotted a third shooting. For now, members of the Muslim community are mourning and remembering the victims.
We are talking to each other, we console each other, we support each other, and we grieve together, as a community.
Everybody is grieving here, and from the Prime Minister down to young children in schools.
Funerals will continue taking place for the 50 victims over the course of this week.
And the European Union has fined Google almost $2 billion for illegal practices in online advertising. The EU accused Google of using restrictive clauses on third-party websites to prevent rivals from placing ads on those sites.
This is the third time the EU has hit Google with an antitrust penalty. Google has not yet responded to the EU's decision. And coming up next after the break, critics say they are taking over the entertainment industry. Find out how some of the key details in Disney's new purchase of 21st Century Fox.
And 7 Rings is costing Ariana Grande more than she would have thought. Keep it here.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
From the Citrus
Disney has grown its entertainment empire after its $71 billion acquisition of 21st Century Fox. Disney now controls Fox's movie and TV studios, in addition to the stake in the streaming service Hulu. Disney plans to use Fox content to move into streaming services later this year. 21st Century Fox will continue as the Fox Corporation, which includes the Fox Broadcasting Network and News Channel. And Ariana Grande's song 7 Rings is still topping the charts, but Grande will only get 10% of the song's royalty money. The other 90% is going to Concord Music, the company that wrote the songs for The Sound of Music. Musical reviewers found that 7 Rings is too close to the song My Favorite Things from that 1959 show. Grande and her producers changed the song's lyrics. The melody is too close to the original song.
And the Environmental Working Group has released its Dirty Dozen list of fruits and vegetables tainted with pesticides. Strawberries came in first, with spinach and kale taking second and third. The EWG also gave its Clean 15 of produce safest from pesticides. Avocados top that list. Researchers say consuming pesticides has connections to health issues such as cancer.
Now, I know that weather is definitely very nice outside, as we saw Jenna, and I know she's going to be joining us shortly here. But one quick question for you. Now that it's spring, what do you like to do in the warmer weather?
What do I like to do in the warmer weather? I just like to walk to class without sprinting to class. I know we were talking about that a lot in my first class. Everyone came all bundled up, and we were just like, why are we all wearing jackets? Because you just assume that.
All right, and now Jenna Babyak, what can you tell us about the future of the forecast?
All right, so as I was saying, today was a beautiful day. Tonight it's going to get a little bit chillier and some clouds are going to be rolling in. It's going to be about 36 degrees. Like I said, increasing clouds and maybe even some showers towards dawn. Now let's look at the future radar. So we can see it's pretty dry right now. No rain, no precipitation. And that as we're moving into tonight and then into tomorrow morning, we're going to see a little bit of precipitation coming in from the west. And then over time throughout the day, we're going to see a little on and off precipitation. And then into Friday morning, we're actually going to see some snow. That's not what we want to hear, I know, after a day like today, but let's take a look at Thursday's forecast. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at some current temperatures throughout the area. Pretty consistent. We're seeing some high 40s, low 50s, but pretty consistent throughout. Sunny skies, no precipitation. And now let's look at your 5-day forecast. It's pretty inconsistent. Now let's see, tomorrow we're going to see some rain, Friday some snow, Saturday that snow is going to stick around a little bit, partly sunny on Sunday, and then into Monday it's going to be cloudy, but we're going to see some sunny skies next week, but unfortunately we're going to have to prepare for some precipitation into this weekend.
back to you. Hoppe with sports.
All right, Jenna, it's crazy right now. Frank Howard will not play in this game against Baylor, an academic or an athletic violation. We've got the latest on that and everything else from Salt Lake City when Citrus TV News Live at 6 returns.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back. I'm Jonathon Hoppe. Spring is officially here, and isn't that fitting? March Madness is heating up, and the Orange are ready to roll. Syracuse plays Baylor tomorrow night, and our Zach Lang has been following the Orange from Salt Lake City. And Zach, we covered that Frank Howard situation. How about the rest of the team, though? What's going on out there today?
Syracuse is set to take the court in just a couple minutes for an open practice. Now, they practiced yesterday here in Salt Lake City, and Ty's battle one of those players who's kind of shaking off a little bit of the rust. Coach Boeheim said that he will be 100% for the game tomorrow against Baylor, but you know, he is a little bit rusty because he hasn't practiced in a bit. He also didn't play at all in the ACC tournament, so we're going to get our first look at him coming up in just a little bit.
Well, Zach, that's great news because Syracuse is certainly going to need battle now that Howard is not playing. How about that scouting report for Baylor? Most are looking ahead to a potential Gonzaga matchup, but it doesn't sound like that's a guarantee.
Bears have on their side is starting guard Makai Mason. He's the first grad transfer in Bears program history. He shot 47% from three in their last 3 games. Now, we know Syracuse has had some trouble defending the three, especially in their last home game against Virginia, in which they went 18 of 25 from beyond the arc. So if Syracuse wants to do well against Baylor, they're certainly going to have to defend the three-point line in this one.
Zach, thanks so much. So no Frank Howard. We'll see how Syracuse does. That game coming up tomorrow night. Back here on the Hill, though, SU women's lacrosse in action against Harvard. This is a team that's rolling right now. And Syracuse has a lot of momentum as a top 5 team in the nation. You can see them fired up, getting ready to go. Megan Tyrell makes it a 2-0 game early. How good has the freshman been? And speaking of freshmen, another one, Sierra Cockrell, hasn't scored in 4 games. That changes right here. Bouncer through Rotundo in net. Cockrell starting to heat up. Katie Muldoon, she's going to bounce back for Harvard. Harvard, after being down 4-0, now makes it a 4-2 game. Syracuse, though, does not look back. A number of goals, pretty much anybody you can think of scores. Morgan Alexander there. Alexander gets another one, back-to-back hat tricks for Alexander. And then Emily Harris-Chuck, she's got 4 goals in this game. That is 7 straight games with 4 or more goals for Emily Harris-Chuck. She only did that twice last season, twice in a row. SU rolls past Harvard 15-6, the final score. Now, this game coming up this weekend against Notre Dame, it was originally moved to CBA, and more changes to the schedule. Syracuse has moved its game against Notre Dame from CBA that will now go Saturday Sunday as opposed to Saturday. And that's going to change a lot. That's an outdoor game at Christian Brothers Academy. And at the end of the day, that's going to change a lot for this Syracuse team, who is trying to gain some momentum as they come back to Syracuse. 4 of the next 5 are at home, but 2 of them will be played at Christian Brothers Academy, this one on Sunday. So now a bit of a double dip, if you will, as Syracuse lacrosse plays 2 games on Sunday, the women at CBA at noon, and then the men's team at 2 o'clock at CNS. Now, coming down the stretch of the NBA season, that may be a good thing for Knicks fans. 11 games are left for the Knicks. Right now, they're in the driver's seat for the #1 overall draft pick. Of course, the ping pong balls ultimately decide that. Last time out, the Knicks got spanked by 36 points in Toronto. So I think everybody in Knicks country is looking forward to the end of the season here.
Now the Knicks may have lost to Toronto, but how about the Cuse tomorrow? How are they going to fare tomorrow without Frank Howard?
Well, the knee-jerk reaction says SU's going to lose without its senior point guard. But if you ask me, I think they're still going to get it done against Baylor. They've played without Frank. Tyus is going to be back. That's an 8-9 matchup. Anything could happen. Gonzaga, though, down the road, it's going to be tough without him.
So now matching up against Gonzaga, I've heard that, we match up better against Gonzaga than we do against Baylor. If we can get past Baylor tomorrow, how do we look against Gonzaga?
Well, if you listen to Syracuse fans, we match up well against everybody because of the 2-3 zone and how good it is in March. But you think about Gonzaga, they've only lost a few games the entire season. Coach Few's always got that team ready to play. It's going to be a tough matchup to try to take down the one, but one game at a time.
For sure. Thank you, Jonathan. And after the break, is luck on your side? Find out how much the 8th largest jackpot in history is tonight.
And Jenna will join us for one last look at your weather forecast. We'll be right back after the break.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News live at 6. Weather anchor Jenna Babyak is now with us. Jenna?
Jenna, I am so confused. What should I be wearing tomorrow?
All right, so it's going to be a little bit chillier than it was today, and like I said, we're going to see some rain showers, so make sure to wear a raincoat. But it's not going to be too cold, so don't worry about any snow or anything like that. It's just a little rain tomorrow.
Now, is that rain going to be any snow in the near future?
Yep, we're going to expect to see snow on Friday morning. I'm really sorry, guys. It kind of sucks.
Oh,
but
no.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jenna. And it's lottery season again. This time, tonight's Powerball jackpot is estimated at $550 million.
Now, that's the 8th largest in history. Odds of picking the correct 5 numbers and the Powerball is 1 in more than 292 million. Now, if you won that lottery, what would you do?
I think I would take your advice and I would probably leave Syracuse and go travel the world. What would you do?
I would get out of here for sure as well. That's all the time we have for you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Bradbury.
And I'm Lilia Wood.